What is going on, guys? DBG here. In this video we are going to be doing another tier list in NBA 2K21 MyTEAM, and this is going to be a tier list of the best power forwards in the game. So in general, the power forward position's weak. I'm going to say that right now. So there are guys that would be kind of on lower tiers for other positions, but because specifically they're power forwards, they might be higher tier. Yes, there are a few insanely good power forwards in this game, but there's a lot of kind of mid-tier ones. So it's a tough one to rank some of these players. But anyway, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are on the road to 250,000 subscribers right now. We're about 28,000 subscribers up. You know, like, it's going to take a while. It will take a while. If we can hit that, to be honest, before 2K22, I will be happy. But anyway. Now let's get on to the players. So first of all is Aaron Gordon. And there's some like common misconception that I think Aaron Gordon sucks. I think in my opinion, I believe Siakam and Isaac are better. That's just an opinion. But it doesn't mean Aaron Gordon's not good, because I think Siakam and Isaac are exceptional. Like, I have AK in my team and in my no money spent squad, and I might honestly just sell AK for profit and keep those two guys. But Aaron Gordon, he's an elite perimeter defender, got a good player build. His jumper is iffy. I think iffy's a almost even too positive way to describe that jumper. It is tough to hit. Hot spots from the corners. Like, he will hit when he's open the corner. He's a really, really good dunker. Defensively, he's good with a big player build. I wish he could play center. If he could be a small ball center, he'd be a million times more effective. But one thing I will always say is try to use Tom Gugliotta. If you use Tom Gugliotta's Amethyst and you like him, then you're going to like Aaron Gordon, because Gordon's just a much better version of Gugliotta. But anyway, yeah, so he is in here in A tier. And we got Alexey Pokashevsky. I mean, he's like worthless or D tier on current gen, but because of how good he is on next gen, we're going to put him in C tier. He's got super speed basically, and the best player build in the game. He's got this he's got Slenderman type arms, while also having the widest upper body in the game and the smallest neck in the game. So his body is just bigger. Like, it is the most weird looking thing ever, but he is a monster in game. Like, he is an absolute monster in game. That's if we're talking next gen. If we're talking current gen, he's woeful, but he gets the best animations. He gets super speed. He's a beast on next gen. Then we got Amare. I mean, Amare probably B tier. I really don't like the card. I mean, he's objectively good as far as being a pick and pop jump shooter goes, and just kind of athletic big, but he's not it. AK. I mean, I like this AK. I like this AK more than most people like this AK. If you guys were watching my No Money Spend videos, I've been using this AK and I've been having a lot of success with him. I've been hitting with him whether it's current gen or next gen because of how much I like base 29. Definitely better on next gen. His defenses animations are really, really nice. And in my opinion, this Andrei Kirilenko card is just an overall really good card. I think he's one of the more underrated cards in the game. However, a card that is not underrated and is just straight up one of the best cards in the game is this AK-47. It is definitely debatable whether his base 29 on his Amethyst or his base 98 on his Diamond is the better release. It is very much debatable. If you're asking me, I think 29 is easier to green. I think 98 is easier to get off. So it's a toss-up. It's preference. Either way, though, they're two of the best releases in the game, so you can't complain too much. But AK-47, the best defensive wing in the game. He just is. Like, him badged out, you could argue he's better than Paul George. You could argue he's the best small forward to use, depending on your playstyle. His release is fantastic. He can get range extended when he's badged out. His ability to play lanes is ridiculously good. His ability to rebound is good. He can actually attack the basket quite well for someone that's seen as a defensive player, and he's just a beast, man. He is just an absolute beast. Definitely worth the 100k or so he goes to right now. Especially if you can find a badged up AK for buyout, I'm telling you, that card's good enough to last you till like April. It may not be the greatest card in the world in April, but it'll be like Diamond Lamar Odom last year, where he's still usable in April. except just way better than that Diamond Lamar Odom. Then we got AK. So not AK, Anthony Davis. I think it's a weak position, so I'm going to put Anthony Davis in S tier. I see a lot of people running him and have a lot of success with the duo with him and Zion Williamson. I'm not a big fan. I'm going to say that much. I'm not the biggest AD fan. Give me a Chris Bosh over Anthony Davis. If like it's my play style, but I think objectively Davis is probably better. So yeah, like S tier. I think he kind of belongs because of the weakness of the power forward position. But if he was a center, he'd be either S or A if it goes to centers. He's a good player. Antoine Walker, B tier, can't shoot from the corners on current gen, needs to be badged up a lot to be usable. He's okay. Bailey Howell, same as AK. They're very, very similar cards. Give me AK over Bailey Howell, but it's a very, very close one. They do very similar things. Ben Simmons. Now this is a tough one. I hate him. With a passion, but I'm putting him B tier. I mean, he can be a roll man and a pick and roll, I guess. He can run the break. He plays elite defense. He's just so bad at shooting that I can't put him in the top 2 tiers. It's not even like he has a 50 mid-range 53 ball. Like, it's less. It's actually worse than that. He's so bad. Billy Cunningham, worthless. He's small. He doesn't do anything. Yeah, that's it. He's small and he doesn't do anything. We got Balake Griffin. Blake Griffin is S tier. Blake is so good. I will say this. Blake is not as good next gen as he is in current gen. It's debatable who's better, Blake or Wayne Embry on next gen. I've used both of them. I like the way they move, but Blake is so good on current gen. Like, he is arguably the best card in the game. Like, Blake, Dwayne Wade, to an extent. Actually, I'm not going to even put Steph Curry in that best player conversation on next gen or on current gen, because Steph Curry is just a god next gen. But you've got Blake on current gen, you've got Wade, maybe Weber. I think that's really the conversation for the best player in the game on that gen. But Blake is ridiculous. Unbelievable release, unbelievable dunk, great defense, can get basically every badge. He's just a demi. He is a demigod. If this card was out in 2K20, he would have been the best center in the game up to like May. Bob Love. I mean, Bob Love on current gen is similar to like an AK or this range, but I mean, he's better. He's way better next gen. Bob Love's defense is top tier. Like, he is an S tier defender, but he's just weak on offense because he has Cole Jones on the whole right side of the floor. So yeah, Bob Love, A tier because of his defense. Bob Pettit. Like, I get it. People don't like the fact that Bob Pettit has 47 lateral quickness. It is a problem. But he's good. Like, don't get me wrong. He's not probably the worst player. I know, he's better than Bob Love. He's not as good as Aaron Gordon. But, like, the guy's got half range extender, a good release. He's fast in terms of just getting up and down the floor. He can dunk it well. Obviously shoots well. With the speed glitch being a thing, he can speed glitch into quick stop threes very, very easily. Like, there are a lot of things that Bob Pettit does really, really well. It's just, his one problem is that he's got 47 lateral quickness. And that definitely puts him off top tier. And he's probably unusable if you're playing wagers for money. But he's still good. He's still more than usable in an unlimited setting, and he's still solid, especially as a small ball 5. Boris Diaw. Fully badged up Diaw is better than Bob Love. That's my unpopular opinion, is that fully badged up Boris Diaw is better than... I've just set a bad precedent here, haven't I? I just realised if I'm putting Boris Diaw up here, I'm setting a really bad precedent. You go down. You get down. You get down. You get down. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, because he's definitely a step above an AK or a Bailey Howe when he's badged out. Like, I need to sell my Diaw. I have a Diaw, gold hard crusher, gold range extender, gold clamps, and gold quick first step. I need to sell that card. Scalabrini, I mean, because of limited, I'm not putting him in worthless because he can hit 3-pointers, but he's pretty bad. Buck Williams can't shoot to save his life and also doesn't have any of the offensive game of Ben Simmons. A very similar defense game to Ben Simmons. He's basically Bill Russell Diamond. Some people will have more success with a Buck Williams than with a Bob Pettit. I am not those people, and this is my list, so I'm putting him down here. I love playing against the Buck Williams or Bill Russell, you don't play against him as much anymore, but I used to love it when I was playing against them because I used to paint sit with a center. Then Carlos Boozer, if you did happen to get him as one of your cards in those promo packs at the start of the year, yeah, you got unlucky. None of those promo cards were any good. Chris Webber, I mean, he's not good. He's really not good. I tried to use him at the start of the year. He is just bad, man. He is really bad. Can't do the jumper. Can't do it. I'm pretty sure, is it half post spin technician is the only thing he's got. Yeah, he was very, very expensive for a time, and he might still be expensive now, but he's not it. But speaking of Chris Webbers that are it, this Chris Webber's a god. I still think, even before they updated his release and dribble sigs, I still think Chris Webber's S tier. But this card here is up. He competes with Blake, man. He really is that. He really is the real deal. I'm sorry, I played against him in 250 quals at the weekend. I couldn't deal with him. I could not deal with him. Like, normally when I use my Draymond Green at center, it's like you normally give what you get. As in, you're playing against somebody, and because of the way Draymond is, he normally gets beaten for rebounds and gets beaten a bit inside. But normally on the other end, I can kind of use my speed and the way I play the offense to my advantage. But no, he got eaten alive both ends at 4 by Webber, and it really has made me realize that Draymond is not good anymore. He's usable, he's not good, but Chris Webber, he's the closest thing to Blake in this game. He really is, and he does certain things better than Blake. I mean, if you're talking about pure lateral movement, his player build helps with that. Release-wise, it's preference. They both have incredible releases. I'm still taking Blake because of his wide player build, which allows him to play a bit better defense, but man, Webber's not far off. Webber is not far off if you haven't fully badged out. Incredible card. Then we got Rodman. I mean, worthless. And both these Rodmans are worthless because they gave us another Rodman that's actually worse than the other. What's worse than his Rodman? I just don't get it. They're both worthless. Derek Coleman. I mean, he's alright, but he can't run. He's just so slow. I've used him a few times. He's bad, but he's not so bad that he's going to lose you a game. Like, these guys could be so bad that they could lose you a game by themselves, but but Derek Coleman isn't that bad, although he can get basically every badge in the game, but I don't know why anyone would give badges to a Season 2 tip-off player. Then we have got Dirk Nowitzki. I mean, he's worthless. I'm sorry, no range extender. This is not this Dirk. This is not Pink Diamond Dirk. This is Amethyst Dirk. Amethyst Dirk is so bad. Pink Diamond Dirk, I mean, it's the power forward position, but I don't think I can put him in the top 2 tiers. Like, the gap between a Bob Pettit and a Dirk Nowitzki is huge. They both are glass cannon, range extender centers, or power forward / centers, who don't play any defense but can hit from half range. Except the difference is that Kuzi's way faster. Kuzi has got a way better jump shot. Like, Dirk Nowitzki has like one of the worst post fade animations in the game. Like, he's bad. He's really bad. Then we got Draymond. I need to look at the cards left. Draymond, I think, might be the second best card that's left right here. So for that reason, Draymond, you're just scraping into an S tier. But man, the gap between a Webber and a Draymond is huge. It is huge. You got eaten alive for me. Yes, you're going to be my current gen center because I don't want to spend any MT, but it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I've loved that Draymond card. You carried me to number 28 in the world in qualifier number 2, but it's just not that. It's just not that time now. Wayne Embry exists. Chris Webber exists. Blake Griffin exists. Unfortunately, a card who was one of the best cards in the game for his time. A card who had everything. He was a mismatch problem. He was a fantastic shooter, a fantastic defender. One of the best cards we had seen at the time. Unfortunately, his time is not now. But still, this position is so weak that he's S tier. Then we got Elton Brand getting to D tier. He's worthless. He sucks. He absolutely sucks. Like, he sucks. There's no other word to describe him other than he sucks. Jared Jeffries. Jeffries is big. He's a big body. He plays a bit of defense and he hits when he's wide open. I mean, give me Jeffries over any of those worthless cards. He's not a good card. He's definitely most effective in certain weeks of limited. But I mean, his defense is overall solid. His player build is insane. His release is okay. He's got basically same release or same upper as George Mikan. He's got a lot of things going for him. The only problem with him is that he doesn't come with some key badges. But on next gen as well, I've used him. He's nice. Jason Tatum. I mean, Tatum better than Draymond. Let me put Tatum in S tier. Tatum really, really solid cone, good release. Just all around good player. Then we got Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague. Say not Jeff Teague, Jeff Green. I mean, Jeff Green is on that Bailey Howell AK level. That's where I'm going to put Jeff Green. He's on that level right there. He's a pretty good card, can't lie. Like, Jeff Green, still, as far as Emeralds go, he is the best Emerald in the game, and I'm pretty confident that unless they give some ridiculous moments cards out, he will remain as the best Emerald for the rest of this game. Jermaine O'Neal, I'm sorry, he sucks. He's got base, or set shot 17. He's got a lot of bad animations, although his stats and badges, like, they're not awful, they're not great either, but he's bad. I've used him in game, he's bad. Jerry Lucas, I mean, he's objectively very, very similar to a Bob Cousy or Bob Pettit. He's like a slightly downgraded Pettit. A lot of people would prefer, for example, a Bob Love to... I don't think anyone's going to argue that Amare should be an A tier. I think Bob Love, maybe you could argue in certain situations, is better than Jerry Lucas and Bob Pettit, but I think they're just so much better on offense that I'm going to put them there in A tier. Lucas is... I'm not the biggest fan of the card. His upper is Joakim Noah upper, so he still does chest pass it. But he's got Ray Allen base, which is elite this year. Yeah, I'm going to give him A, but he's like low A. John Collins, I'm not even sure if I've used him, but I remember looking at his stats. He's bad. He's really, really bad. D tier. I don't think he's quite worthless because he's a recent card. Very few recent cards are worthless unless it's Robin, because he has to be worse than an early bad Dennis Robin. Put him D. Josh Smith. This is a controversial one because I think this is where it all splits. It's like, do I think Josh Smith is better than Draymond? And I'm going to say no. Give me Draymond over Josh Smith, but Josh Smith over Aaron Gordon. Josh Smith is the best player in A tier. Draymond is the worst player right now in S tier. And I don't think there's much of a difference. Like, I don't think there's much of a difference between Draymond, Tatum, Aaron Gordon, and Josh Smith. Like, if I made an extra tier, I would probably have these four guys and then move these two guys down, keep these guys on a tier, and move these guys down a tier. But I don't want to just have four guys in S tier. You know what? I might do that. So let me move both of these guys down. Move these guys down. Move... Who can I move down from here, though? Like, badge up Dio. Give me him over to Simmons right now. Here, maybe. Here. I think this might even out a bit. Juwan Howard. Juwan Howard's good. When he's fully badged up, he's good. You need to fully badge him up, and it's dumb to fully badge him up, but he is good when he's fully badged up. Release is not great on current gen. It's Aldridge base. Great. Well, not great on next gen. It's fast on next gen. It is definitely fast on next gen. And that's kind of one of the big things. So, Karl Malone. He's B. When he's fully badged up, he's good. He's B. Kevin Garnett. I hate him. I hate him so much. But I think, especially he's good next gen. He's A tier. But I hate him so much. He sold me week 2, 250. Like, or Quals 2. I was literally going to replace him with Ruby on Trey Bargnani. I hate him that much. He missed every single shot he took from me. He couldn't get a rebound. He couldn't block a shot. He doesn't come with Heart Crusher. He was just one of the most disappointing cards in the game. However, next gen, his release is money. And it's a lot easier to green on next gen. So, yeah, I can't not put him in A tier because on next gen, he is a beast. But current gen, I hate him so much. But he's not objectively bad. I just hate the card. We got Kevin Love, B tier. He's just too slow. Like, he's no better than Jerry Lucas. Like, I can't really argue he's objectively better than Lucas. He's like a slower Jerry Lucas. So he's going B tier. LaFonso Ellis. I don't know. Ellis belongs in one of these tiers. I'm going to put him C tier. I think he's alright. Larry Bird. Larry, get into S tier. Larry's so good, man. On next gen, Larry's in that conversation with best card period in the game. And there's a lot of on current gen, he's unbelievably good, but I wouldn't put him in that conversation. I got next gen, give me him over Blake or Weber at the 4. And the reason for that is that Hall of Fame range extender fadeaways are a joke. They're a joke on next gen. It's why I call Steph Curry the best card on next gen. And Larry might, I use Steph Curry enough that I say that because I think he's a better fade animation, but Larry is up there. Larry is up there on next gen. Then we got Larry Johnson. I mean, fully badged out, Larry's like high B tier. He's like high B tier. I might have to bring some players down into D tier. I think I've got too many in this. Actually, no, B tier is the middle tier. I don't mind bringing too many in. Then Larry Nance. This is a tough one. It's a tough one. B or low A. I'm gonna put him B because I do like him, but I don't know if I like him enough to put him in A tier. I think I'll take all those A tier guys over him. He is beyond solid. He is beyond solid. And there are definitely arguments to be made for him over Bob Pettit because they're completely opposite players, but I'm going to put him in B tier. I just struggle with that jump shot. Larry Markkinen, he's like worse Kevin Love, C tier, but he is nowhere near as bad as people give him credit for. Like, he is one of the best Ruby bigs in the game. I'm sorry, like, he is on the level of a Bargnani or a LaFrance in terms of just offensive shooting. A lot of people talk about Bargnani and LaFrance, forget about Larry Markkinen with how cheap he is. He is ridiculously good, especially for certain weekends in limited. Like, he definitely, like, he serves a purpose for a lot of teams. Luis Scola, he sucks. Get him at the worthless. He sucked from the start. Maurice Lucas, A tier. Badged up, or not even badged up Maurice Lucas. Maurice Lucas is so good on defense that he's going A tier. The big question is, like, why do I Maurice Lucas over Larry Keenan? Because they're very, Larry Keenan over Larry Nance because they're very, very similar cards. My big thing with Maurice Lucas is that he can play center. Like, if Larry Nance could play center and with everything he has, it's like he basically just be a Giannis playing center. He'd be a lot more OP. But Maurice Lucas as center can guard switches, can hedge hard, runs the floor well, can hit from the corners. And he's a good card. He's a good card. And Siakam badged A tier. Great release, range extender, really good defensive animations, really good defense in general. It's not like he does anything. Like, when he's not a player you'll notice on the floor. As in, when Siakam is there, his job isn't really to do anything. His job is basically to just hit wide open, play defense, and just be the fourth or fifth best player on the floor at all times. If you are planning on running through Siakam, he's going to be awful. But in general, I think Siakam is a fantastic player for what he is. Then we have got Paul Millsap. I mean, I'm going to put higher weight on current gen than next gen. He's like on current gen, he's like a worse Bob Love. Because he can't shoot from the corners because he has 2 cold zones. However, next gen, he's really good. So, yeah, I'm going to give him C tier, but he's very good next gen. Paul Silas, yeah, C tier as well. He's like a much worse Draymond Green. He's a Draymond clone with much worse stats. So Paul Silas, although a very, very good defender for a Ruby. Is he better than Bob Love? That's debatable. I'm going to put him in C tier, but it's definitely debatable that he's a better card than Bob Love. Ryan Anderson, he's a sniper. Him and Davies Bertans, I have Anderson here. Bertans they're basically the same card. I just put him in C tier. Because they bring enough on offense that I can't justify putting him in D tier. Like, he's way better than all these guys. Like, the biggest gap in tiers, the reason why I can't, like, move around tiers is that the gap between D tier and C tier, if you take out current gen Pokashevsky, I think is pretty big. Like, Ryan Anderson, not a good defender, but he can hit shots. And he does it at a really high rate. Millsap, really good defender. Silas, really good defender. These guys right here, man, they're all borderline worthless. Serge Ibaka. I'm putting Ibaka in. I love Ibaka. Do not think he belongs in A tier. Do not think he belongs in A tier. Really, really good shot blocking, big, can hit shots. Really solid card, especially for his price of less than 10k. Great player to add into your team, but he's not that good. And we got Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp's A tier. Sean Kemp is fantastic. All I'm saying is that I thought the power forward position was going to be super weak. It's a lot stronger than I expected it to be. It is a lot stronger than I expected it to be. Like, all of these guys in A tier are good cards, and there's a couple of decent cards here in B tier. We got Duncan, A. He's just slow. Like if Duncan had speed, he'd be really, really good. If he had speed, basically, he'd be Joel Embiid, Pink Diamond. But he doesn't. He's at low speed. Was great when he came out. It's still somewhat usable card. Very similar to like the center Brook Lopez card. But just a worse Chris Bosh. But Zion Williamson. Zion, fantastic card. Zion belongs in S tier. And if we're talking about overall cards, Zion, I think Zion will probably go down to A tier because I do rate Chris Webber, Blake Griffin, Andre Karolinko, and Larry Bird over him. And normally, like when I make my overall list in the middle of the month, it'll only be say like 10, 15 max in S tier. I don't think Zion Williamson will end up in that tier, even though he is a fantastic card. I just think those guys and like Paul George and stuff are better. But either way, it's just preference. But yeah, so I just realized I've not even scrolled to S tier. So yeah, that is pretty much it. These are my tiers. So S tier, we got AK, Anthony Davis, Blake Griffin, Chris Webber, Zion, and Larry Bird. A tier, we got these guys. B tier, we got these guys here. C tier, we got a bunch of guys that are not great, but you're not gonna lose by using them. D tier, we got a lot of bad guys that are just about capable of being like, these are usable but not good cards. These are usable but just about capable to be used. And these are guys that you may lose the game by just having one of them in your team. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.